Hi guys, today I'm going to do another video on the Royal Enfield 500 Classic and my 10 reasons why you probably shouldn't consider buying a Royal Enfield Classic. Now the number one reason, number one on the list, would be if you've got a set of one-piece leathers and a racing helmet in your bike attire, it's probably not going to be the bike for you. To be honest, the top speed of this bike is about 85 mile an hour. That's absolutely flat out. So comfortable cruising speed, you're looking at about 65 mile an hour. When you consider that something like the 1500 Cruiser next to it has a top speed in excess of 120 mile an hour, and again it's a quite slow lollopy bike, you're not going to go super fast on it, but you can see the difference. If you're on the motorway doing 70 on the big Cruiser there, you've got loads of extra power there and it's a comfortable steady cruising speed. You're doing 70 mile an hour on the Royal Enfield and you're at the top end of the speed limit. So that's my number one reason probably why you wouldn't want to purchase a Royal Enfield over another bike. Number two on my list of reasons probably not to go for the Royal Enfield would be vibrations during running. During the running period, first 2,000 kilometres, maybe 1,500 mile, excessive vibration through the bar ends, foot pegs and generally throughout the bike, meaning constant checking of the bike for loosening of different parts, nuts and bolts, etc. So that's my second reason. Number three in my list of reasons, it's not overly a major reason and most older bikes don't have this, but fuel gauge. A big Suzuki next to me hasn't got a fuel gauge, it's got a fuel warning light, and likewise the Royal Enfield has just got a fuel warning light. Depends where you live and where you commute to. If you're in the middle of nowhere, it can be quite awkward checking in the tank all the time, see if you've got fuel in there and checking you're not going to run out. The big Suzuki, the fuel tank's located under the seat, so it's even more of a problem on that because you can't actually check or see visually how much you've actually got in the tank. My fourth reason, and now this relates to prior models to the BS4 model, this is a BS3 and earlier models as well, is the rear drum brake. Rear drum brake on these very poor for stopping, not much pull up on them, ideal for slowing in corners or slow speed manoeuvring. You can tweak the back brake, but the newer ones with the addition on the BS4 of a rear disc brake is a massive improvement. So if you're buying an older model that's got the rear drum brake, that's also I think to consider as well. Number five would be the tyres with the inner tubes in. Most modern bikes are tubeless. Obviously on this particular bike with having spoke wheels, it's got to have inner tube tyres. One of the downsides of that is if you have a puncture and you're out on the road, your tyre's going to go down pretty quick. With tubeless tyres you can get additives that you can put in the tyre, so if you get a puncture, your bike can carry on manoeuvring to a certain extent and you can slow up safely. Number six on the list, if you've just passed your test and you're new to biking and you take this as a first bike, you could well grow out of it, purely because if you're a young rider and you're looking at moving up to bigger, more powerful bikes or experiencing different bikes and trying bikes, you may well buy this bike and find after 6-12 months you want to dob it in for another bike. Most people who buy this bike buy it purely for what it is and because it's a modern classic. It's based on the original 50s classic Royal Enfield. Number seven on my list, if you're mainly a commuter who rides on motorways every day, so you're dashing up and down the motorway to get to wherever you're going, again probably this is not the bike for you. It's going to feel laboured at high speeds on motorways. You're going to be at the top end of its capacity, although they will do many miles and run all day at the top end of its rev range and capacity. It's not ideal, to be honest. It's not comfortable, and the psychological effect is that you feel you're pushing the bike to its limit and you're running it at its limit all the time, whereas something with a bigger engine, bigger capacity, it will run at lower revs at a high speed and you'll have plenty left in reserve if you need to overtake, etc. Another one, again relating to the BS3 models and older, when you purchase them, no rear seat included. They come with rear foot pegs, but you don't get the rear seat. The rear seat is an optional extra here in Europe. In euros, it's about 180 euros for the rear seat, which bumps the price up considerably. in my estimation, earlier bikes like the BS3 and before should have all come with a rear seat as an optional, as an added extra, whether it was fitted at the time of purchase or you fitted it yourself. It's just crazy to put rear pegs on it. I mean, if you're going to have no seat, why not just not have the rear pegs, and if you buy the seat you get the pegs with it. So that's another one. Number 9 on my list, if you're a daily commuter, and I mean a daily commuter going to work every single day, and you want a commuting bike, that's a tool to get from A to B instead of a tour or a weekend bike. There's lots of other bikes on the market you may well consider to use it as a vehicle rather than a toy or a weekend jaunt around bike. Likewise, if it's your only bike and it's not a second bike, again, commuting every day, especially in northern European countries where the weather's slightly worse than it is here in Spain, a lot worse than it is here in Spain I should say. It may have a detrimental effect over time to the bright work, and with the bike being all metal, I've seen videos of Indian bikes that seem pretty rusty after a couple of years in adverse rainy conditions. And finally, my number 10 on the list is there is another option at the moment in the Royal Enfield stable, and that's the Continental GT. If you're going for a retro feel, you either go for the classic look, which is the 50s classic bike, or you go for the cafe racer style, which is the Continental GT. Now if you go to the Continental GT, you've got a few extra ponies, not many, and you've got an extra 35cc, which will give you a bit more speed, and with it being a cafe racer style, it's more flickable around the bends. Again, depends where you're commuting and where you live. So that's my 10 reasons probably why you shouldn't buy the Royal Enfield. I'm going to do another video with my 10 reasons why you should buy the Royal Enfield. So look out for that video shortly after this one. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, give me a like and subscribe, and I'll get the other video at you very soon. Thanks for watching.